So, welcome everyone. Namaste. We are going to do our yin flow today. So, Tuesday was actually the full moon, and it was the full moon in Sagittarius in Western astrology, and it was right at the tip of the tail of the scorpion in Vedic astrology. So, the readings are similar but slightly different. Um, Tuesday, someone asked me, what was the astrological report for this full moon? And I really had not had time to research it. I had company over the weekend and it was in the recesses of my mind, wasn't even thinking about it. So I wanted to share that with you today. Sagittarius, according to Western astrology, is a very positive sign that enables us to tap into our future vision. And it's the sign that governs our ideals. And the question we should be asking ourselves is whether or not we are in alignment with things that bring us joy, and if we are doing things that are going to align us with that future timeline that we're wanting. If you find anything is kind of stumping you or stagnating you, or maybe not seeing growth, it could be time to let that go. Because the full moon is about highlighting in our awareness things that just aren't working for us, or things we've outgrown, or something not serving us. So the culmination of the full moon is a great time to do some sort of releasing ceremony or ritual. And even though we're in the tailwinds of it, it still is with us. That energy is actually going to remain with us, because this full moon is said to be the gateway to the summer solstice. With it being in the Scorpio tail in Vedic astrology, this is about unresolved emotional issues. And this could be like what showed up for me over the full moon was just some negative thought patterns coming back, or emotional patterns coming back that I've way outgrown, but they kind of snuck back in, and I didn't express it, thankfully. I held it all inside because I was just reviewing it and seeing it for what it was. So maybe you notice that within your own psyche as well. We're going to start today in tadpole pose with shoelace arms. And I'm going to quickly show you an alternative in case this pose gets uncomfortable for you. So an alternative for this pose, if you can't be on your knees for any reason, would be to be on your back with knees bent and the arms crossed like this. But if you want to do the tadpole with me, similar to child's, you're going to slide your knees wide, open up your hands, and then you're going to slide them through, and you're going to lower down towards your brow. Now, it may be that your head's kind of hovering like this. Maybe your chin is just resting on your arms. But if it's hanging off the side and you need some support, or if you want to activate that acupressure point for the mind's eye, you can bring in a prop to rest your head on. So we'll go ahead and create this position. And as you're here, just notice the stretch that you're receiving through the arms and shoulders. You might even feel that stretch through the top portions of your feet and the front side of your ankles. And know that in this position, we're opening up quite a number of meridians or energetic channels. From the inside of the thighs, we're opening up 3 for the kidneys, for the liver and spleen. And through the backside of the arms, the ones for the large and small intestines, as well as one called the triple heater. your time submitting down to gravity, releasing all of your weight, closing the eyes. And taking command over your breath. In these yin poses, remember your breath can help you to stay calm and patient as that sensation begins to expand. Breath can not only bring in patience, perseverance. Patience and perseverance is something that we're often tested with. If we can learn to do it on the mat, it'll be easier off the mat. On your next in breath, grip in your belly, pick up your head and slide your hands closer, and then we'll just swap the hands, slide them back through, and if you're on your back, you'll release the arms and cross the opposite way. Once you settle back into the pose of your choice, close your eyes. Even though we typically connect with the movement in the front side of the body, as we breathe, I want you to focus on the movement you experience in your back body as you breathe. The feeling up and the rising of the back lungs. And then that release when you breathe out. So I want you to reflect for a moment. What is the next stage for you to level up, to create expansion in your life? Maybe you're wanting to spread your wings and try something new. Perhaps you're wanting to recommit to something. On your next in breath, let's gently lift the face, slide your hands in, slide your palms out, rock the hips up, and close the knees more together. And then you may have to walk the hands out a little bit more like I did to create a full tabletop position. Your left foot is gonna lean over towards the side of your mat so you can extend your right leg down, and then you're gonna come up with your torso. Now that right foot is going to turn away from your body, and I'm sorry I'm not hearing you. Lift your arms up shoulder height, flip your left palm open, and curve over to Parigasana. And this is the gate pose. The hand can rest on the shin, thigh, or hip. You can gaze up underneath the arm, or you can keep the neck neutral. You can also cast your gaze down. Focus on breathing into your left side waist, into your left lung, into your left side body. I mentioned this full moon is said to be the gateway towards the summer solstice. And the summer solstice is Tuesday, June 21st. This is the longest day of daylight this year. How can you expand into more light? How can you become more of a light body? On your inhale, let's bring it up out of gate. We're going to reset the palms to the floor. Bring the left shin back. And then you're going to take your right leg over to the right side. Flip your right palm open. You're opening to stargazer. And as you exhale, you loop the arm underneath your waist and bow the head. And we're going to do that 4 times. This is one of our flows. Inhale, open into the twist. Exhale, loop it underneath. Inhale, flare the right arm skyward. Exhale, hook it under. And again. And this time, hold at the top. And breathe. Lower the right hand down and the right knee down to reform table. And then slide your right foot back. Lengthen the left leg down the length of your mat. And then gently come up. Turn the left toes away from you. Fly the arms up shoulder height. Flip the right palm open. And then curve to your left. Breathe into the right lung. Allow your conscious work to help to purify your mind and body. Hopefully, if the full moon amplified any drama or emotions, hopefully that has settled by now. If not, remember your breath can be medicinal to carry you through. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, bring the hands down, right shin back, left leg off to the left side. Stargazer, flip the left palm open, carry it up, and exhale, thread it under. Continue with repetition. This next in-breath, you're going to pause at the top and hold and breathe. What is the vision you have for your future? Imagine it as you gaze upward towards the heavens, as if you were looking towards a shooting star making a wish. Exhale, bring the hand down and knee down. From here, we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Spreading through the fingers, pressing into the forward part of the hands. And allowing the tailbone to reach out and up. We're going to rock back and forth between plank and down dog to gain a little strength. So as you inhale, come forward to plank. And notice if your hips are still up. If that's the case, if you press back through your thighs, through your calves, heels, and pull the heart forward. It will line you up better. And then exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Let's do another. Inhale, full plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from there, drip down to your knees and your elbows. Now, right now, the toes are curled under and the belly may be sagging. So we're going to keep the toes tucked, but we're going to pull that belly in. And when you pull that belly in to support the low back, make sure the elbows are aligned right up underneath your shoulder bones. And then we're going to lift to dolphin. Now, I will say this is really challenging. I would come back to the knees and lace the hands together and then come back up. It is easier with your hands laced versus your palms being flat. Look at the angle that down dog and dolphin provides. Everything's pouring towards the face and brow. Which is good because this is our place of intuitive knowing and insights. Let's land the knees. Now let's drop the top portions of the feet to the mat, sinking the belly, lifting the head and the heart like a cow tilt. And then as you exhale, round it to catch stretch, hollowing out the belly and chest. And now flow here. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And notice the engagement of the deltoids and the triceps. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat stretch. Now, inhale, cow, curl the toes, plug the navel back in, lift the elbows off the floor, and take downward facing dog again. Notice how much easier down dog is compared to dolphin. Maybe it's just me, but I think I speak for us all. Now walk your hands back towards your toes. Okay, we're doing a little flow here. We're going to get more static and still in a moment. For now, just kind of hang out here for a couple breaths. And then we're going to come up and down 3 times. So as you inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Upward worship, and then exhale, swan dive back in. Twice more, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. What is that future you imagine? Bring it to you. And then as you exhale, remember there may be something that you need to let go of in the process. So now let's stay here and contemplate what that is. Softly bend the knees. Softly nod your head. And you can allow the arms to hang like a rag doll. You also have the option to cross the arms and hold the elbows. If you take the latter, it will get a little bit more intense. So if your hamstrings are already tight, I would recommend ragdoll. So in the process of letting go and welcoming something new, it's really like the saying goes, when a door closes, another one opens. On Tuesday, one of my sisters reached out to us all and said, I just signed the paperwork to retire. She's been a school teacher. She could have retired years ago, but she kept going to put her kids through college. And her final child just graduated. So she decided she was done. And as soon as she signed the paperwork, she already had a part-time gig. She's got a part-time job at her husband's accountant firm now. So for her, it's very easy to look at her life and go, yeah, this full moon definitely served you in letting something go and inviting something new in. Aligning herself to the new vision she has, less paperwork, less responsibility, less stress. All right, when you're ready, we're going to walk it back out in front of us. And we're going to come to downward facing dog again, pushing back into the hips. And when you're ready, step the left foot to the outside of your left hand. We're doing what's called lizard pose. And this is where if the wrists are sensitive, you can come to fist. If your back thigh gets really tired, or if that's too much, you can lower the knee. But you can also lower to blocks or the ground with your arms. We're going to be here for a little bit. I want you to consider for a moment where you can claim and take some inspired action. How can you raise your vibration so that you're aligning with your future vision? Are you wanting to go big? If you're wanting to go big, are you still playing small? Are you needing to recalibrate? If so, are you making sure that what you're aligning to is going to bring about some joy? We're going to stay with the hips right now. We're going to stack back onto the palms. We're going to kick up that back knee if you set it down to the floor. And we're really going to rely on our upper body strength here and the core strength in order to pick up the left foot, to place it behind the right hand, and to move towards what we call swan or pigeon. Now, if you need deer, you can slide the right knee up and fold over this way. But if you can do the sleeping swan, go ahead and take yourself there now. Even though we're plummeting down and trying to relax and soften the muscles, you may find that the tension is more in your face, mouth, or jaw. And if that speaks true to you, take a deep breath in and breathe it out slowly and audibly through the mouth. Inhale slowly a bit. Now, if you're in deer pose, just come to a comfortable seat and twist to your left. Otherwise, if you're in the swan, the right forearm comes down, the left hand to the waist, and we rotate to the left. Unwind from the twist, stack back onto both hands, and then slide your left knee to the middle of your mat. Glide your right knee to tuck up underneath, and then sit back in between your feet. Stay here for a moment and just check in because this may be enough. Otherwise, start to fold forward. Find your edge. Be and breathe there. So since we're getting into the hips now, and the hips correlate back to water, something that, you know, is really affected by the full moon. And since we have so much water, and since it's emotional, and since the Vedic astrology was saying it was in the tail of Scorpio, specifically geared towards knotted emotions, it can potentially affect, relationships, the relationship you have with yourself or your partner. So if you had any of that happening, maybe you were capable this time of recognizing and owning what was your stuff. Or maybe you were recognizing through your awareness what you wanted to say, but you knew it wouldn't be beneficial. Maybe you knew it would escalate the problem and you withheld that on purpose, which was probably a really good thing. I'm speaking from experience. We had that occur Tuesday, and it was great because we both recognized it and we both sat with it and we didn't speak it. So therefore it didn't get dramatic and we were able to sleep it off and wake up the next morning completely okay. And that was the beauty, hopefully, that you tapped into of this particular moon. Next inhale, slowly rise. When you come up, we're going to lean into the hands to slide both feet a little closer, which basically cultivates a new position of fire log pose where everything's double stacked. Now, if you lift up energetically through the head and the heart, you may discover that closes a little bit of that gap, or maybe it triggers a segment of the hip where sensation really surges, and that may be where you need to stay. You might find when you lean forward, it starts to take you in a different segment or into different muscles. And if you go even lower, even if you can, it doesn't always mean you should. And this is what I mean by that. I can come here into this position, but I actually felt more of a surge here at the top for some reason, right? So I'm going to come back and sit tall today. And I want you to pay attention along the way, up or down, and find that perfect spot to be in. Then when you find it, close your eyes. Concentrate on your breath. Even though your hip wants all of your attention, that breathing can help to calm the nervous system and maybe move some of that stress, tension, or unprocessed emotion out and away. Three more breaths. And let's go ahead and bring the legs around behind us. Prop onto hands and knees. Take a little break from the hips a moment. We're going to extend the left arm out in front of us, cross the right arm to provide a headrest, to do a half melting heart. Let your chest melt down. Let your belly sag down. This is opening up stomach meridian, heart meridian, lung meridian, and pericardium meridian. Inhale, lift up. And we'll swap sides. Left arm for the headrest, right arm out in front, and then surrender. Feel that swoop from the right side of the low back, down through the side body, into the pit of the arm. Inhale, slide your hands back. Stack to table, curl the toes, down dog. And then we'll move back into the hips. But take a couple breaths here first. Again, angling everything towards the brow, the place of our intuitive knowing. Inhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. And again, you can stay here, lengthening the thigh bones away from each other, pushing back through the left ankle. You can come to fist, you can drop the back knee, or just in the hands, or any of that blend. The reason why we want to release and purge old stagnant energy away is so that we can resolve and heal past those old energies so that they're not recycling or uh, happening over and over again. Prop onto the palms, stack back onto the arms. And this is where we're gonna take the right foot behind the left hand and slowly set the shin down, back thigh and foot down. You can go into deer if you need that, or crawl it forward to sleeping swan. move into our twist. So this time the left forearm's in front, the right hand comes to the waist. You can also come up higher like this. And I would suggest if you were in deer, it may be easier just to come to a cross-legged position and then twist. But if you can do it from deer, that's fine. I just have never twisted from that pose to my memory. Exhale, unwind. And then we'll slide the right knee to the middle. Glide the left knee, tuck it under. Sit back. Sit tall. Maybe fold. It's okay if you need to back up. It's equally okay if you drop lower. As long as you're honoring your experience and not forcing and maintaining an even flowing breath. Slowly bring it back up. This is where we'll go to that double fire log, sliding the feet over, double stacking the calves, sitting upright at first. Maybe this is where you need it. So now I feel like, I think I can do something else. But on that previous side, no, I needed to stay right there. So listen to your body and remember each side could be totally different. Just like we're playing with the two-sided poses to work out any tension or toxins, we're also trying to create and strike a balance. Maybe being in the question of, are we balancing our physical lives with our spiritual lives? Inhale, slowly start to come up. As you come up, you can slide your legs out, shimmy, shake the knees, and then might want to bump forward with your seat to roll down to your back to hug the knees in. Fan your arms open and let the knees roll left. Inhale, knees roll through center, and exhale over to the other. Exhale, unwind. Spill the feet down. And we're ready to set up for rest. So if you want to bolster, add it in. If you're okay with corpse pose, just slide the legs out. Close the lids of the eyes. Are you balancing the physical with the spiritual? So if you're a Star Wars fan, there's a new series called Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney. And we watched the new episode last night. And I love this series because it's giving a storyline of when Luke and Leia were little. And it flashed back to a time where Anakin was the Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And where they were, fighting with the lightsabers. And Anakin was getting egoic and wanting victory, wanting to win. And he was becoming impatient. And so Kenobi kept stopping him and kind of tutoring to him about his weaknesses and where he needed to work on his spiritual strengths. So as you lie here and take rest, go within and be in that question. Am I balancing the physical with the spiritual? Is the ego balanced with the soul and our higher purpose? Om. 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 With the sound of my voice, begin to deepen the flow of your breath. Begin to exit out of the pose that you chose, finding a comfortable seat. Sitting upright with your hands to prayer. May we all welcome the new energy that's flooding in. May we recognize what we need to let go of in our lives. May we welcome new opportunities. And may we experience the peace that passeth all understanding. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.